Greetings, friends. Ken McCall, the Jazz Vinyl Lover, back again to talk about the new Verve series called Vital Vinyl, coming out between February 22nd of this year and the middle of this year, which is 2019 AD. I'm holding in my hands Coleman Hawken Encounters Ben Webster, part of the first batch of the Vital Vinyl series that came out on, did I tell you, February 29th. These are 40 titles in total, reissuing the extremely hard to find Verve catalog and the equally hard to find, but out there more so, a little bit more, Impulse catalog. But the majors, which these are now both owned by Universal, haven't really bothered with reissuing the Verve titles, while the other majors, such as Concord, which is kind of a major independent, and Blue Note and Columbia, have been jumping on board like flies to honey, because they realize there's money out there to be had, because vinyl is now 12% of all album sales, as recently reported by Forbes. Forbes also recently reported that if you could count, and I've been saying this for years, if you could count all the used records sold in thrift stores and Salvation Armies and, you know, flea markets and on eBay and Discogs, I would say that vinyl is probably about 50% of all album sales. But hey, that's just me. Anyway, back to the Verve Vital Vinyl series. These are cut from 24 192 kilohertz files by Kevin Reeves at Capitol Mastering in Los Angeles, and they uniformly sound pretty freaking great. Some people say, oh, if it's a file, why bother hearing it on digital? I don't know. I mean, on vinyl, because it certainly just sounds a whole lot better. My case to hold up as a shining example of a digital file well done was the 2014 reissue of the complete Bill Evans at the Village Vanguard Sessions 1961 on Concord. Those things sounded freaking great, and they sounded just like these, which are super clear, super high res, with good extension of bass when there is bass there, and extremely present pressings. I received 10 of these little babies, and they range in price from $17.99 to $29.99. Why? I don't know, but that's just the way it is, which is still pretty good considering the Tone Pod series from Blue Note is $35, and those shysters at Music Matters are charging up to $100, $60 to $100 for their new SRX super quiet vinyl. It's so quiet. Oh my God. Anyway, I'll talk about these records. Coleman Hawken meets Ben Webster, the two tenor giants, in a session from 1957. This is just a great swinging session. Two really fabulous players at the peak of their powers, no doubt. Just laying it in the cut with a great rhythm section. All these records have great rhythm sections. Alvin Stoller drums, Oscar Peterson piano, Herb Ellis guitar, and Ray Brown bass. This is a great swinging session. This is great Shummer music. Looking for some Shummer shashang music for your Shummer cocktail party? This is the record to get. Then we'll go to 1964, Jimmy Smith, The Cat. Now, if you're familiar with Jimmy Smith from all the great Blue Note records he made, this is not one of those records. Those are Jimmy Smith records where he's in the cut with his trio, kind of going masturbatory crazy, pulling out all the stops. This is really just Jimmy Smith as a sideman on his own record. This is really a Lalo Schifrin record, who conducted and arranged the record. Lalo Schifrin, who wrote the great soundtracks for Bullet and It Takes a Thief. Mission Impossible, maybe? Yeah, I think so. Because this album, even though it was recorded by Rudy Van Gelder, sounds like it was done in a big hall. This is a 16-piece orchestra. All great musicians with big, bold, shouting brass choruses and hip kind of crime jazz themes. And occasionally Jimmy Smith shows up to play a solo. All these records came in really beautiful sleeves. High-density polyethylene lined paper sleeves, except for this one, which came in a paper sleeve. I don't understand that. But anyway, this is a really great record, and it surprised me. I didn't expect it. I mean, you can get this record. It's hard to find, but I didn't realize the performance was so, banging. Very banging performance. So then we'll go to an extremely popular record from 1960, Ella Fitzgerald in Berlin, Mac the Knife. For those of you who are younger than me, and there's probably be millions of them out there just like that, younger than me, Mac the Knife is a really big song for the over 70 crowd. I don't know, it's a horrible song. It's originally a German song, I believe, and Bobby Darin made it popular back in the early 1800s. I don't know. But this is a great record to hear Ella, because the crowd in Berlin just go nuts over her. they just go bananas over her. And so she's really swinging hard and she's having fun. These are great songs. Gone with the Wind, Misty, The Ladies, A Tramp, The Man I Love, Summertime, Too Darn Hot, Lorelei, Mac the Knife, and How High the Moon. This too has a great rhythm section in this live performance, including Jim Hall, Paul Smith, Wilfred Middlebrooks on bass, never heard of him, Gus Johnson on drums. This is just a fantastic live Ella. There's so many great Ella recordings, but if you want to hear her live, this is probably one to get. And then this was also a surprise to me. I hadn't heard this album from 1965. Stan Getz and Bill Evans. I always think of Stan as kind of slow. Stan was around a long time and played every style of music. But he's best known for his bossa nova classics. And he was also known to be kind of a bastard. But that's another story. His wonderful Captain Marvel record with Chick Corea and Tony Williams. Holy crap, what a record that is. And to me, I'm still, in my mind, used to hearing these guys be kind of lyrical and gentle. Stan not so much, but definitely Bill Evans. On this record, they are blowing. And you're hearing Bill Evans play on some fast tempos, which I was really surprised, because usually talk about lyrical and, introspective and just face it, depressed. People love the Bill Evans sound. He's great on this record, but this is a very energetic, blowing record. A surprise. The Verve did a whole series of previously unreleased recordings. All the covers look just like this. Previously unreleased from what session? I don't know. Produced by Creed Taylor, and the fire starter, the magic joker on this record is Elvin Jones. That's probably part of the reason this record has so much energy, because he's just slapping the rhythms and the session all over the place, as he does. With Ron Carter and Richard Davis equally so on the bass instrument. Finally, we get to two classics from the great Billie Holiday, released in 1957, 2 years before she died. Recorded in January of 1957, Body and Soul and Songs for Distingué Lovers. Are you a distingué lover? I know I am. Anyway, these are great recordings, because even though her voice is aging from her, I guess, early 50s heyday, you still hear her genius shining through. Her great articulation of words, her great phrasing, her great way with the melody. She was such an innovator, and as great an improviser as any other instrumentalist at the time. Her and Lester Young worked a lot together. So even though there's a sadness there, and she's definitely kind of sounds like an old lady at times, there's still an amazing tone and lyricism in her phrasing. So I highly recommend these things. They're all over eBay for various prices. But as I said, the catalog runs from $17.99, like I think the Ella is $17.99, $29.99, which these are $29.99, but the average price is $24.98. Verve's Vital Vinyl series, and what's exciting is soon they're going to start reissuing the Impulse titles, such as Mingus, and The Black Saint and the Sinner Lady, and McCoy Tyner's Inception. Those are the only ones I can remember off my head. But I'm sure if you Google Verve Vital Vinyl, you'll come up with all the important facts. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button so I can continue to bring more of these great reviews from Taos, New Mexico.